budget. The Women Banking Initiative was allocated a paltry sum of 50 million cedis. 50 million cedis. And to me, the market women in Winneba. Yamobia 2,000 Ghana cedis cry. Ebe, President Mahama. Ebe, President Mahama. Ebe, ebe. Menyo low. Menyo. Yeah. Yet they gave over 6 billion to their so-called Galamsey board. That gold board that they established. What is it for? Convert $275 million into cedis and get the cedi. They abandoned their own flagship initiatives and agriculture. Agriculture in the budget, they only allocated a paltry sum of 1.5 billion cedis. Even if you break the 1.5 billion cedis down, 950 million alone is for compensation. So the Boku, the agric minister sitting at the ministry, is a redundant minister. I don't know the work that the agric minister is doing at the ministry, because there's no budget for his ministry. How are they going to implement the Nkukon Kitinkiti? And then they loaded a lot of money under that so-called big push, which we are going to scrutinize. They did nothing for agriculture. They did nothing for the women banking. Yet they are promoting Galamsey. How do you say that you are establishing a gold board that is going to buy equipment for small-scale miners? How? It is a requirement. Go and read the Minerals Commission Act. If you want to go into mining, one of the requirements is to show your financial capability. You must show that you have the means to go into mining. So if a government tells you that it's going to buy equipment for miners, you should take it with a pinch of salt. What they are telling us indirectly is that their party boys involved in Galamsey are going to get equipment, and they say they are going to give them soft loans. Really? Government going to give loans for mining? They should tell us plainly that they are rather buying equipment, giving them money to promote Galamsey, and that is what we see. Now, they themselves are undertaking some false praise and making some claims. They claim that the city is strong because of the government's effort. I am a businessman. I will be happy any day if our local currency is strong, because that would help grow the business of Ghanaians, including me, who is a private sector player. But that is not the case. In this government administration, we know, all they know is deceit. They are claiming credit for what they have not achieved. We know on the global stage, the US dollar itself is having its own challenges. Recently, the ICE US dollar index, measuring the dollar strength against a basket of major currencies, indicated that the US dollar has slipped below 100 as market rule from rising sell America sentiment. The dollar is weakening not because the cedi is strong, but because investors are losing faith in the greenback itself. As Nigel Green, CEO of the VIA Group, warned just last week, quote, "Dollar dominance is being critically diluted. Trump's erratic tariff policies, investor disillusionment with US equities and bonds, and global power realignment are fueling this slow but seismic shifts," end quote. So this is not an NDC miracle. This is a global monetary turbulence. This is currency recalibration on a planetary scale. So I'm telling the organizer of our party Director of Communications, and other members of the National Executive here for this collaboration that has resulted in this engagement to let the people of Ghana know that great betrayal of the NDC government, the 120 days of a bitter Ghana under President John Dramani Mahama. As we've already been told by the national organizer yesterday, Mr. President marked his own script, a script that the questions were set by him, and after that, he gave himself a mark. This morning, we are here to expose all the lies, the falsehood, and the inconsistencies. We call it NDC's great deception, from their own social contract to a social collapse. 120 days of bitter government under John Dramani Mahama. In the lead up to the 2024 general elections, candidate John Dramani Mahama released a document titled Mahama's First 120 Days Social Contract. It was marketed as a sacred pledge, a hard-coded promise to the Ghanaian people, time-bound and specific. It was designed to inspire trust, rekindle hope, and restore the image of a party that was seeking for another opportunity to rule this country. The NDC promised to scrap taxes like COVID-19 levy. They pledged to ban illegal mining, slash import duties, revive industrialization, launch mass employment programs, hold public officials accountable, increase cocoa prices. Not the least, they promised the people of Ghana a 24-hour economy under 133, one job, 3 shifts. Then on January 7, 2025, standing before the Republic, His Excellency declared, quote, "I intend to tell you the truth," end quote. He claimed he would act with, quote, "decisiveness and restore," quote, "faith in institutions and initiate what he called a national reset." But after 120 days of his presidency, the truth is brutally clear. The social contract was a political bait and a switch, a glossy list of promises not meant to be fulfilled, but merely to be flaunted, exploited, and forgotten. 1, the taxes remain. 2, contractors remain unpaid. 3, illegal mining rages on, no state of emergency in sight. 4, industries continue to suffer. 5, unreliable power supply, what I call Doomsday Pro Max, is unfolding. Further, the job creation pledges have turned into press releases without action. The cocoa prices, the farmers who were promised that 3,000 per bag of cocoa was going to increase to 6,000 per bag, have also been disappointed. And the slight stability of the cedi, now claimed as the Mahama miracle, is nothing more than a byproduct of a weakening US dollar on the global stage. This, fellow Ghanaians, is not a matter of political disagreement. It is a matter of deliberate national deception. And as you are well aware, this is not just a speech, it is a call to remembrance and resistance. It is a forensic audit of the presidency that campaigned with the agency of a reformer, but now governs with the indifference of a ruler long exhausted by ideas. I dare say that the lame dark days of President John Dramani Mahama has already started. Today, what we urge Ghanaians to do is to rise up to defend the Republic. And above all, what is happening today is a clear warning, and we will not sit quietly while the will of the people is traded for political convenience. Now the 120 days are over. The promises have collapsed. The excuses have run dry. The reckoning must begin. Let it be said plainly to every Ghanaian. You were not given a reset. You were sold a recycled failure. And now the clock has run out. Accountability must take center stage. Let history record this moment, not as a dawn of renewal, but as a day the veil of betrayal was torn away. Now, let me give you the details. The promise of constitutional fidelity. Today, the executive has broken this promise. What we experience now is executive lawlessness. On his inauguration day, His Excellency vowed, quote, "I shall strive to exercise sound judgment and be willing to act timelessly to resolve our challenges," end quote. But when faced with a clear breach of Article 286, when his appointees failed to declare their assets before taking office as constitutionally required, he did not act lawfully. He invented a bizarre punishment, a 3-month salary forfeiture, no referral to the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, no investigations, no accountability. What the president did was not a legal remedy. It was a constitutional betrayal. By failing to uphold the law, the president brought his own oath and the entire presidency into disrepute. Now they also pledged of security. They themselves, by their own actions, have undermined this through their neglect and the military politicization. In his inaugural address, Mr. President passionately said that he was going to secure our sub-region and, quote, "We must work together to keep our sub-region safe," end quote. Yet under his own watch, Boku bleeds. Boku bleeds. The president offers neither decisive intervention nor compelling empathy. I repeat, today, Boku bleeds. The president and his government offer neither decisive intervention nor compelling empathy. Instead, this government has destabilized our armed forces, pegging seasoned, loyal, and trusted officers and replacing them with partisan subordinates. The fact is, the government is not protecting the state. The government is politicizing its spine. A commander-in-chief who weakens his own forces in a time of crisis is not a leader, we dare say. Environmental commitment eclipsed by Galamsey retreat. President Mahama promised Ghanaians that he would act decisively and swiftly as our country's leader. In his might-trumpeted social contract with the people of Ghana, President Mahama solemnly pledged, quote, "Ban illegal and new mining activities in forest reserves, roll out our Tree for Life and Blue Water Initiative to heal and sustainably harness the environment," end quote. And yet, illegal mining has flourished under his silence. Foreign nationals caught in Galamsey operations are deported, not prosecuted, contrary to the campaign promises. The promised repeal of the LI 2462 remains unfulfilled. The rivers continue to run red. The forests are gashed open. And the president who accused Nana Akufo-Addo's administration of inaction on illegal mining and promised decisive action offers excuses. The government's inaction on illegal mining is not just disappointing, it is a betrayal. While in opposition, the NDC loudly declared that if elected, they would impose a state of emergency to confront Galamsey head-on. But 120 days into the government, not only have they failed to do so, that they have completely abandoned the agency they once preached. Illegal mining continues to devastate our rivers, poison our land, and displace entire communities. The promised state of emergency has vanished, replaced by silence and inaction, while the sector minister sheds crocodile tears on national television over a sorry state of our rivers, forests, and farmland. This is not leadership. This is not leadership. It is cowardice dressed in empty campaign rhetoric. It therefore came without a surprise to the people of Ghana when recently, on May Day, organized labor, speaking through its Secretary General, boldly condemned the extent to which Galamsey is destroying our environment. And to quote organized labor, Galamsey has worsened within the few months that the NDC assumed office. So all the 8 years that they said the MPP was unsuccessful in dealing with the Galamsey issue, today, organized labor is boldly telling us and saying it to the face of the NDC administration that within this short period of governance, the situation has worsened. I leave it to your judgment. Inclusivity abandoned. Mr. President promised the nation of a leadership of inclusiveness. Today, what we see is a massacre of livelihoods. In his inaugural speech, Mr. President declared, every Ghanaian has the opportunity to contribute to our nation's story, end quote. And yet, since taking office, his government has waged an unprovoked war on public and civil servants. Thousands of civil servants, especially the youth, have been dismissed, not for corruption and incompetence, but for getting employed by the state before his return to the presidency. In their place, party executives are being recruited. Teachers who were recruited and posted into remote communities to teach have been sent home. Nurses who were recruited and were in hospitals and at our health centers helping the poor have been sent home. Efforts to recruit more nurses have been put on hold. Those who graduated from nursing schools and expected to be posted are still at home, have become desperate. And we have a government that is rather creating more unemployment than employment. We say this is not inclusivity. This is not inclusiveness. This is ideological cleansing. This is not a president for all. It is a government for only the NDC. We have two Ghana now. The Ghana for the NDC, where only their party's foot soldiers enjoy, and the Ghana for others who must go through a bitter experience, pain, and misery. Youth empowerment has now reduced to a mere PR stunt. President Mahama told our youth on January 7th, quote, "This moment is a powerful affirmation that your voices matter. We are committed to creating opportunities for education, entrepreneurship, and employment," end quote. But those words now mock reality. The ambitious one student, one laptop policy of the MPP government has been shelved. In its place, a flash, empty promises to train 1 million youth in coding without equipment, personnel, or infrastructure. Did we go or did we come? Governance has been reduced into theatrics and empty promises. Today, we, the mighty minority,
to the New Patriotic Party's headquarters. We also welcome the leadership of the mighty minority, led by Osahene Alexander Kwamena Afenyo Markins. Let me, on behalf of the party, say that we appreciate the work they are doing in Parliament, the commitment, the dedication. Yes, we know that we are few in Parliament, but we also know that we are mighty minority. And indeed, they have worked and they have achieved this particular name. We have had an effective collaboration with our minority caucus in Parliament. And today is a manifestation of such commitment and collaboration. The president yesterday set some questions for himself, and then afterwards he graded himself and said that 100% or so. But today we have the mighty minority here. Here are the MPP's headquarters to respond and to also let Ghanaians know that for the past 4 months, it is rather bitter 100 days. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, our friends, our cherished friends from the media, we welcome you all here. Let me boldly welcome the minority leader, Honorable Alexander Kwamena Afenyo Markins, Osahene, to give us the 120 bitter days of the NDC led by John Dramani Mahama. Hello?